Hey guys, alright, welcome back to the vlog. This is number 12, and before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's supported the channel so far. We cracked 100 subscribers just the other day, and I know it's been a while since we posted. It's been about 3 months, so I just want to do a little quick update on everything that's happening here at the farm. I'll give you a little rundown. I'll show you everything we've got going. And the other thing is we've got a couple little issues on the farm with some water leakage as well as some redback outbreaks. So I'll run through some little tips and tricks that we've been using to get rid of the redbacks and to also control the water problems that we're having here on the farm. And hopefully that you'll be able to take those tips and tricks into your daily farming. So hope you enjoy, and let's get to the video. Okay, so first things first, I want to give you a little rundown of the farm and show you some of the adult containers as well as the newly born pinheads we've got just here. So like I said in previous videos, we actually keep a pretty dense record of everything that we do here on the farm in terms of when the breeding soils have gone in and when they've gone out, as well as when the crickets have been born and what tubs the breeding soils went into. So today we're going to look at container 30, so they were born on the 20th of March, so they're looking at around 21 days old, give or take, by the time this video goes up online. And I just wanted to show you what they look like. So, well, there they all are. You can see in there, there's plenty of them. So we're estimating that there's probably going to be anywhere between maybe 20,000 to 50,000. I know it's a big number and a big jump, but that's a pretty decent guess that we think how many crickets could be in there. And as we go further down, so 31, and if we go back to the book, these guys will have around about a 7-day jump. So if we get in here now, I'll show you guys the size difference. And if my camera would focus, there we go. So you can see there's a pretty big size difference between 7 days, but like I said, as we keep growing in size, the crickets are getting more and more capable of being able to breed faster and produce a lot more eggs, especially as the growth rate increases in the container. And the other thing now I'll show you guys is just what we've done. So we don't have any crickets actually down this end of the container, and we've condensed all the farm just to make sure we keep track of the records a little bit smoother. And we didn't actually have that many crickets in these containers, so we just cleaned them out and we put them all together. Now if I go in here, you can actually see all the crickets up the back there, and also the ones here breeding. Now, the other really interesting thing that we've had on the farm is we've had crickets live for a very, very long time. So if you Google how long a cricket lives for, Google will tell you that it's about 90 days. Well, here at Schubugs, we've actually had crickets live for 7 months, if you believe it or not. So, and they're still producing eggs. So that's a really good sign. Okay, so that's pretty well everything in terms of what's happening with the pinheads and what's happening with the adults. Now we're going to get into talking about our redback problem. So for those who don't know what a redback is, in Australia we have a spider about maybe as big as my thumb, and they're called a redback because they've got a little red strip down on their tail, and they're deadly. Like if you get bitten by one of these things, you're out of it. You've probably got about 15 minutes to get to the hospital. So to get rid of those things, we had to go through every single container and hand pick the egg cartons out of it and get rid of them. So I'll show you a couple of clips right now that I'll put up, and one is just a redback coming down from the ceiling on its web, and the other ones is a bunch of eggs that we found in the container that we have to get rid of. So I'll show you those couple of clips now. Highlighting the ongoing threat posed by Chinese economic espionage and research labs in the United States. First, Now we're not exactly sure how the redbacks got into the container, but we've got a pretty good guess, and we think, so you can see on this container here, we have a little kind of base that gives it a bit of support. Now we actually took those things off because that's where we thought the redbacks came in, under these holes, and we weren't sure because we gave them a pretty good clean, but we couldn't get rid of everything. So we ended up removing all of them, and we had the redbacks all along this light strip here, little baby ones, and like you would have seen in the footage, all those eggs, and they just multiply so quickly. So we had to go through every single tub by hand, which I'll show you. I've already showed you that footage, and get rid of the eggs and get rid of the spiders, and to make sure that we don't get any more, or if we do see a big clump of spiders on the bottom of these little support racks, we have a thing called surface spray. So that's only going to attack the spiders or insects or whatever's going on only locally on that one location. So that's been pretty good, and I think we're on top of it now. But it's not like you can just spray the whole container because else you're going to kill your crop as well. So that's been a pretty big little learning step that we've had here at Schubugs, and hopefully if you have any more of those insect problems, you can also get on top of them as well. So this is the spray that we've been using. Now you can see I've already been spraying a little bit today, but there's a few cobwebs just at the back here, so you can actually see all the little redbacks along the edge just there. So it's just a quick little spray along the edge, and then that pretty well gets everything. And also, because it's a surface spray, it will only stay on that surface just there, and it won't hurt any of the crickets back here, which is a beautiful thing. Okay, so now I want to talk to you guys about the water problems that we've been having on the farm. Now, the water problems are not leakage coming through the roof, it's actually water coming up through the bottom. So we're starting to move into winter now, and we're getting a little bit more rainfall here, and with that, water's going underneath the container and then coming up through the bottom, and you can see it just on the edges here. Now, this goes back to what we were talking with the previous issue with the redbacks. So the bottom of these, we actually took those off, and we're starting to put them back on once they've been cleaned and got rid of all the redbacks, because we're finding when the containers are sitting on the ground, we're actually getting a fair amount of moisture coming up through the bottom of it. And I'll pull this container out just to show you. I'll move these egg cartons, and you can see at the back here, this is all quite wet, and even this egg carton is quite wet. Now you can actually see the water back there. Now what we've tried to do is we've tried to sprinkle with our breeding soil, this coconut husk, just to dry, and like sprinkle it around the bottom, just to like soak up a bit of that moisture. Now that moisture is just continuously flowing in because of the rainfall and because of the condensation. And another issue that we're having with the bottom containers is because it's a little bit colder, and if I was to touch this metal, it's actually quite cold compared to the top of the container up here. It'd be probably another 2 to 3 degrees difference in temperature, and these crickets are actually growing at the same pace, number 28, as number 30. So if I give this one a little shake, you can see some crickets here. Now just look at the size difference, and they're pretty well the same. So that's pretty fascinating in itself. So to get rid of that issue, we just have to make sure that the surrounding and the outside of the container, all along here, we're gonna have to try and get rid of any water that's coming in through the bottom, as well as just making sure that the containers are back off the ground, like tub number 16 down there. And hopefully, that will fix a lot of our issues. So I've quickly just pulled apart one of the tubs, and you can see all the water flowing in through the back. Now, these guys still have breeding trays in it, and you can actually see all the little crickets are back here in the water. So this is all wet here, and we've tried our best to save as many of them as we can by putting some of that breeding soil down. So I'm just going to quickly put down some more again. So this is just the coconut husk, or the breeding soil, and just quickly, just lightly sprinkle it over. Now this will soak up the water, and hopefully the ones that have been stuck in the water we'll be able to survive and get out of it. It's a pretty annoying issue that we've got here, but we're slowly getting on top of it. Okay, so that's everything. There's the update of the farm. You can see from the start of the video the little growth and the... Okay, so that's everything for today's video. You can notice that from previous videos, if you've checked out the other videos, and be sure to do that as well, that the growth rate is really starting to come along here at Schubugs, and that's pretty exciting for us. And with the redbacks, so the spider issue and the water issue, we feel like we're always learning something new here every single day with farming insects. So hopefully you guys are learning it back at home as well, and can take it into your farms or wherever you are in the world. And the other thing is, thank you for sending through all the messages about like what I can try to do differently. Keep them coming, because I really appreciate the community support, and let's keep growing that community. So yeah, that's everything for today. So thank you for watching the video, and thank you again for the 100 subscribers, and we'll see you next time. Bye.